Welcome to Assassin's Creed Shadows, finally set in the long-awaited feudal Japan period where we can choose to play Nawe or Yasuke, and I'm definitely going with Nawe. No, I'm not racist, I'm black myself. It's just the idea of being a black man in those times is quite frightening. We begin with things not looking great as my town is under attack, so my father hands me a hidden blade, which I guess makes me an assassin now, and my first assignment is to retrieve a special box. I'm feeling on top of the world with my new promotion, but life as an assassin is hard, and I fail my mission miserably. I wake up soon after and decide I'm not letting such disrespect on me slide. So I head straight back out to yet again find this box of secrets, infiltrating the Katano castle where I killed a samurai unfortunate to be carrying the box. It's a mission success this time. We've redeemed ourselves and we can only go up from here. Or not. Thankfully, my father is here to save the day, and I guess we'll have to go again. After all, they do say the third time is a charm, but in this instance, not so much, as I don't think watching your father get brutally murdered and mugged is that charming, to be honest. After such a tragedy, we then flash back 2 years earlier in a dream, as apparently back then, the best way to get over a loved one's death is to imagine yourself beating them with a wooden katana. I then confronted and beat these hunters who killed a deer, because God forbid a man wanting to eat some dinner. It's not like it's a human necessity or anything. Maybe they should hunt humans and resort to cannibalism instead. Anyway, we're now back in the present day where my life is complete poo, and I wake up to this kid lecturing me to eat more food as I've supposedly been wasting it. No, you little shit, I've just been eating the standard amount unlike you. Now that I'd fully recovered, it was time for me to leave on my quest for revenge against my father's killers, and whilst out in the world, I spot these thugs harassing the peasants. So I nonchalantly assassinated them, though I'm not sure why bro is so jolly. You've been left with a side of corpses and blood-soaked fruits which you can no longer sell, so that peasant status isn't leaving you anytime soon. There is absolutely no reason for you to be so happy. Anyway, I've got a lead on the woman who shot me, and to get to her I'll have to attend a tea party, where she'll be present, which is music to my ears, as over here in the UK, we love our tea. So now I can channel and embrace my inner British self.
That is bloody lovely.
I'd became so immersed in the tea party that I'd forgotten that I was here to murder a woman, not just sit around and have a mother's meeting with a cup of tea to hand. So between these two, I must decide which one I believe to be the shooter. My instincts tell me it's Otama, but clearly I can't rely on those, as it's not even her. Ah, I know, someone must have spiked my tea. That's the only explanation as to why a genius like me could be wrong. Now I've got to head out all the way to Osaka Castle to kill the woman who started it all. I must admit, it was quite satisfying to stomp on her lifeless corpse, and after the kill I was eager to immediately set my sights on my next target. But then I remembered something my good friend Arthur once told me. Revenge is a fool's game. So for his sake, I chose to step away from the path of vengeance temporarily and indulge in some more therapeutic activities, such as meditation, allowing me to reminisce on the good old days. Ah, the fog and the slow walking, it doesn't get more relaxing than this. However, the peace and quiet of my meditation was interrupted as I'm ambushed and forced into my first kill. Aw, look at me. Back then I was a little baby, all shaken up and remorseful over killing someone. And then a minute later I became a master of murder, killing a man with such brutality and precision. These flashbacks to the past really hit hard emotionally. It's like looking back on that one crush you had in school. You just sit and reminisce about what you know you can never have. Well, so much for therapeutic activities. I've come out of meditation feeling even more lonely, scarred and burdened. So how am I gonna fix this? I start out by trying to join in with kids play fighting on the street, but that backfires as they run away and contribute to social segregation, so now I officially hate kids. You give them entertainment, the whole world, and they just throw it right back in your face, the ungrateful little twats. Oh, now look, there's a dog over there. I guess I'll go pet it. Surely that'll brighten my mood. Yeah, forget that. That thing is terrifying. I am not trying to lose a hand. But for whatever reason, I decided to follow the dog, and on our stroll, these bandits attacked him, wanting the key that it apparently holds. We then find out that before the dog's owner died, he supposedly hid his inheritance and a key with it. So I chased off his gold digger sister-in-law, and then we retrieved the key, opening this box which simply contained a note apologizing to his dog and asking me to scratch it behind the ear. Wow, so wholesome. Perhaps I treated you too harshly, boy. You deserve a nice petting. As I continued with my exploration of the world, I came across this lady who can clearly see the internal pain that I'm in. So she suggests that I go collect some origami butterflies. I must admit, it was actually quite relaxing, but I was still waiting on that sweet dopamine rush to make me happy. Oh, here it is. We suddenly discovered a child abduction scheme written in the origami. What a surprise! I tracked down the woman behind this, hoping to find out the formula for child abduction, but she's a big loser, gatekeeping the method. Well, if I can't join in on the fun, then nobody can, so I swiftly killed the woman and all of her accomplices, as they've seemingly got their own clan of child abductors. In today's world, a clan is just an organized group of little kids playing games like Fortnite together and terrorizing the boomers. But back then, I guess the roles were reversed, and child abduction was the adults' idea of fun. Wow, adults are so much more boring these days. Anyway, after putting an end to these games, I returned to the woman who put me on this scheme and thanked her for the suggestion. Leaving a secret child abduction scheme and a harmless origami hunt as a way of secretly inviting me into the clan was truly a genius way to make me happy again. It's a shame that those women had to ruin it by gatekeeping their tips and tricks. So much for revenge against the children. Clearly, a life of peace doesn't suit me, so it's time to head back on the path of vengeance. And I go out in search of allies for an attack against one of my father's killers. Of course, it's not an Assassin's Creed game without doing some fetch quest filler for this Baldy here, so I can use his soldiers and send them running straight into their inevitable deaths. Don't worry guys, it's all for a good cause. The sweet taste of revenge. Of course, most of you guys won't get a chance to taste it, but oh well, what can I say? I'm just a girl. Okay, now I've killed Mr. Wada something, but it seems we've got some leftover dinner. Everyone seems to be in favour of executing this last remaining samurai scum, except for Miss Yaya here, who's all about forgiveness, no killing, and well, quite frankly, I say fuck that. Someone needs to show Yaya here the fuck around and find out chart, because if you think you can just mess around with the enemies, then of course you're gonna find out what's good. Mercy? That's for the weak. We don't do that around here. Days later, I actually decided to return to Yaya, seeking forgiveness. Not because I felt bad, but because I needed as many potential sacrificial lambs to take the fall for me on my quest for revenge. And after a lot of sucking up to her and abiding to her stupid rules, I could finally recruit her, and boy, she was worth it. So powerful that she's able to phase enemies into walls, and bringing her bare fist to a sword fight and coming out on top is crazy work. I'm sure she'd fare well here in the UK on the streets of London. Get this woman over here and she'd have the roadmen for dinner. Anyway, after that, we return to our hideout, and we've got news that Warlord Oda Nobunaga's right-hand man wants to get in touch with me. So we're off to the city of Kyoto. Wow, this place is truly beautiful and massive. It kind of reminds me of my... And within it, there's certainly some unique individuals. But of course, the streets are bustling with life. Well, now it's time to link up with this right-hand man, and we learn that there's too many snakes and not enough ladders, as this guy Mitsuhide wants to betray Nobunaga by having me kill him. Apparently, he was the one who ordered the death of my father, so there's my incentive for me to agree with the plan. Firstly, we got to indulge in a cheeky bit of forgery, as we need fake documents to sneak into Nobunaga's temple. It's time to activate sneaky mode, as we work our way through Nobunaga's temple, and eventually we arrive at the prize. We engaged in a hard-fought battle, and despite my size, I'm still a force to be reckoned with, allowing me to win the fight, and with Nobunaga on his knees, I was ready to deal the finishing blow, until this fine piece of chocolate pulls up, and I'm no match against his BBC energy. Luckily, he spares me for unknown reasons, and we find out that Mitsuhide has pulled a 300 IQ master plan, fooling us all, as it's actually him who's responsible for the death of my father. And now I've got no motive to kill him, so it's down to Yasuke to put his master out of his misery. And then we're subjected to some subtle racism, as Mitsuhide kicks me out of the samurai, and orders me to go back to where I came from. After being made an absolute fool, I immediately seek out revenge on Mitsuhide, but he's nowhere to be found, and now I'm surrounded by samurai with no escapes in sight. It's here where once again Yasuke pulls up and starts aura farming, which basically means that he's really cool. Playing as him is surprisingly great, a stark contrast from Naoe, as you just feel so much more powerful. He really is an absolute machine, killing people in just a few hits. But now he's on his knees, begging to be my ally and follow me around like a good little doggy. It almost sounds like he's willingly proposing a master-slave dynamic. Anyway, even after learning he took part in the slaughtering of my friends and family, I forgive and forget, just like our girl Yaya, and now we're besties. Don't worry guys, we're going to be equals, no master-slave dynamic involved. I could never do a fellow black brother dirty like that. Together, we'll unite and recover the box of secrets whilst taking down Mitsuhide and the rest of my father's killers. Thank you to all who watched this video. If you enjoyed it, please consider leaving a like, comment and subscribing, making sure to click the bell notification for all my new uploads. And to my new and current subscribers, I thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next one.